And that's it. Practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye. A warm welcome, everybody, from a venue that has seen plenty of sensational laps over the years. Remember, Verstappen in 23, Vettel in 2019, some phenomenal pole laps. But whose will it be today?
Fantastic, you've got pole position.
Beautiful.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Welcome along to the legendary Suzuka. This classic racetrack boasts a long history dating right back to 1962 when it was first opened. Will more history be written here today at the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Russell, Albon, Leclerc, Ocon, and Nico Hülkenberg, Piastri, Stroll, Carlos Sainz, and Bortoleto, Behrman, Antonelli, Jack Doohan and Liam Lawson. Gasly and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. I know the teams say there's no number 1 or number 2, but behind the scenes, there's always a top dog and a little pup. And this driver is the toppest of top dogs at this team.
Well, they're certainly marking their territory, aren't they, Crofty, as team leader? And, you know, they've got to run with this now. It's all going their way, but this is Formula One. Anything can change in an instant. And, you know, you've got to keep running with that energy and keep certifying yourself within the team.
Okay, mate. Radio check, please. Radio check.
Ready, check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, Lando, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go.
Confirm.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race.
Let's go! Back to back to back.
Here checkered flag, the fans rise to their feet. It's Lando Norris for victory.
And they're just starting to make it look easy out there. Now a hat-trick of wins. They're out there ahead. They've got the momentum on their side. And it's for the others now to try and up their game to stop that energy that they have.
It's been a hard afternoon of brilliant racing, but now it's time for some proper celebrations. The podium awaits. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Been scouring the socials and asking around, and I'm delighted to say that the team are none the wiser about us chatting with anyone else. And the meeting went well, too. I know. I'm amazing. You're welcome.